Hello everyone and welcome to my productivity and gaming desk setup. A lot of you will be familiar with this setup as it features in pretty much all of my content, including my YouTube videos and my short form content. And I also recently brought out a video of me building this entire room a few months back. But today I'm going to be going through the setup in depth, talking about everything in it from the desk to PC parts, audio, cable management, and I'll be doing a detailed breakdown of how I did it, costs, and hopefully giving you some inspiration for your setups. So let's dive in, shall we? Now, for those of you who are familiar with my content and saw the full build video of this studio, you're probably wondering about the rest of the room. Well, don't worry, I am going to be doing a full room tour video sometime in the future. I have some very cool changes and projects coming up, and once those are out of the way, I'll do a full room tour for those who are interested. But for today, we're going to be focusing solely on my main productivity setup and breaking down everything in it. If you see anything in today's video that you're interested in picking up for your setup, I'll have links to everything down in the description. As always, some of these will be affiliate links, so the channel will get a little kickback from each purchase to go towards future content. Oh, and the channel is approaching 50,000 subscribers, so thank you very much for the support, and of course any newcomers are welcome to stick around and sub if you would like. But enough about all that, let's get into the setup. So let's start things off with the desk I'm using. As you can see, I have a large L-shaped desk which serves as my main setup on one side, and then underneath the window is my B-roll and unboxing desk where you see most of my review and unboxing videos take place. The desks themselves are made up of two IKEA Ekbakken kitchen worktops which measured 246 centimeters long by 63.5 deep and 3 centimeters thick. Although the desk on the side here has been cut down to 2 meters so that it fits the room. I use these rather than desktops as the kitchen worktops are made from much sturdier materials than something like the Lag Captain desk, which is a honeycomb of cardboard. They come in at £85 each, which is a big increase on what they cost back when I picked them up. Holding these up are 4 of these Alex drawer units, also from IKEA, and these are extremely popular in a lot of desk setups these days due to their good looks and practicality. They're perfect for storing all the things you may need within arm's reach in your setup, and again, these have increased in price a lot recently, now coming in at £80 each. Then in the middle of each desk we have one of these adjustable Olov legs. When using a desk of this length, it's always recommended to have a leg in the middle to prevent the desk from bowing in the middle. The legs cost £12.50 each, and the adjustability means they can be used in an array of situations. Finally, in between the drawers and the worktops we have these risers which are actually made for furniture, but they work great in this case to lift up the worktop a few inches to allow for cable management and RGB lighting in between, and personally I think they look a lot nicer. These particular ones are from Amazon and cost £16 for a pack of 8, bringing the total cost of the desk to around £387. Moving on from the desk to the heart of the setup, the PC that powers it. I actually did a video putting this build together last year, and it's probably due for some upgrades soon. So this build is currently running an Intel i7-12700K CPU paired with an ROG Strix RTX 3080 and 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance Pro RGB DDR4 RAM. The motherboard is an ROG Strix B660A gaming, and for cooling we have the NZXT Kraken Z73 AIO. For storage, there are 3 M.2 drives with a total capacity of 4 TB, and hiding in the back is a Corsair RM750X power supply. Then this is where Lian Li took over the build, as we have 9 SL120 Unifan V2 case fans, Strimmer Plus V2 cables for both the motherboard and GPU, Lian Li's vertical GPU bracket, and all of it is housed within the O11D Evo case. Then for the final touches we have this 7-inch screen from Viraltech in the back of the case, and then on top of these really cool custom viral case panels which look fantastic. Chucking all of this into PC Part Picker, and the cost of this build is around £3,000, including the GPU, which is impossible to find these days. I've also added this really cool desktop PC power switch so that I can turn on my PC without even having to get up out of my chair. Not only is it great for lazy people like me, but it is a seriously cool addition to the setup. For the monitor setup in here, as you can see, I am running a dual monitor setup, with the bottom monitor being the Innocent 40C1R, which is a 40-inch ultra-wide 1440p 144Hz 2ms response time IPS monitor, coming in at $420. With these specs, the monitor works nicely for gaming, but I like it more for productivity as the size and resolution give a great amount of screen real estate, which is especially good for video editing so I can fit more of my timeline on the screen. My top monitor is the Gigabyte M27Q, which is a 27-inch 1440p 170Hz 0.5 millisecond response time IPS monitor, which currently comes in around £290 and is a decent choice as a gaming monitor. To mount both of these to the wall, I'm using wall mounts from Arctic, the W1C and W1 3D. And personally, I love the floating look this gives to the monitors. Moving on to audio, and mounted either side of the monitors are these Pioneer DM50D speakers, which are probably a little overkill for the setup. To mount them to the wall, I picked up these stands on Amazon for about £40, and I think it looks much better than my old setup where they were just sat on the desk. These are then plugged into my Go XLR interface, which controls all of the audio in my setup. I may switch this out soon though, due to the fact that it may no longer be getting software support, which could cause issues somewhere down the line. Also plugged into the Go XLR is my Shure SM7B microphone, which I use for all the audio in my videos, and it sounds so crispy. I probably don't have it set at the optimum settings because I'm not fully versed in audio, but I do think it does the trick. Holding up the mic is the Elgato Wavearm LP, and I really like the low profile arm over conventional ones, as it can tuck away nicely and stays out of shot nicely when I'm recording A-roll. Plus this new white version is just beautiful. Now, one of the things I probably get asked about the most in this setup is the chair that I'm using. I decided to go down the ergonomic chair route rather than the gaming chair, purely because A, they look much better, and they are also so much more comfortable and practical for long use. The one that I'm using is the Autonomous Ergo Chair Pro, and I have to say, I absolutely love it. It is a really good looking chair, but with the amount of time that I spend sitting at the desk working on videos and content, it is incredibly comfortable, and I'm really happy with the amount of adjustability I can get from things like the lumbar support, headrest, armrests, and more. This is definitely one of the things I recommend spending more money on, because your comfort while sitting at your PC is very important. Then to make this a little better, I have replaced the wheels with these caster wheels, which move around on carpet much better. Now, getting the lighting right in this setup plays a big part in the quality of my content. On top of my monitors is the BenQ Screenbar Halo monitor light, which is a fantastic way to add some light into your desk without taking up any space. Plus it comes with this very handy wireless control puck, which controls the power, brightness and temperature of the light. Either side of the monitors I have these key lights from Elgato, which provide great lighting levels and can be controlled from my phone, PC or even my Stream Deck, which is really handy. As well as conventional lighting, there is also a splash of RGB throughout the setup. On the wall above the PC are these nanoleaf shaped triangles, which are featured in various setups of mine over the years. There's also a lot of strip lighting, which consists of Govee RGBIC strips to add a pop of colour throughout. Finally, I have this custom neon sign next to the setup, which is one of my favourite parts of the new studio. For the camera setup I use to film my face shots, I have this Elgato solid arm attached to the stand of my key light. And mounted onto it is my Sony a6400 mirrorless camera, which I use for all of my A-roll shots. To make them look extra crisp, I'm also using a Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens, which is a very versatile lens that looks extremely nice. To connect the camera to the PC, I'm using a capture card, in this case the Elgato Camlink 4K, which allows me to easily use this camera as a stream cam as well. Looking at the rest of the gear on my desk, for the keyboard I'm using a custom Tofu 65, which I built myself and is my favourite keyboard. This is paired with the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2 mouse that I picked up recently and I'm already a big fan of. I also recently picked up this Key Cadets mousepad, which has a super cute design and fits the style and aesthetic of the setup very nicely. And to finish the look off, I have this coiled cable from Personal Loot, which works really well with the keyboard. Elsewhere on the desk is an Amazon Echo Show 8, which I use for quick information, displaying things like to-do lists, and also to control my smart lights. Then I also have an Elgato Stream Deck Plus, which speeds up my content creation process, giving me quick access to apps and controlling my lighting. Next to that is my LA Metric Time smart clock, which I use to display my follower counts. And don't worry, that's not me being vain, it's actually very motivational to see how much I've grown and pushes me on when creating. Finally is my laptop, which is the Asus ProArt StudioBook 16, which I keep nearby in case I need it during the creation process. It's also sat on this handy stand that I picked up on Amazon. Now, one of the most important things about this setup is the cable management. Keeping everything neat and tidy is important in maintaining a good looking setup. That's why I have these cable channels behind my monitors and a couple of other places in the setup, and they are a simple but effective way to hide all of the cables above the desk. Underneath, I've stuck these power strips to the bottom of my desk along with this 10-way USB hub from Sabrent, which is the perfect way to keep everything hidden. To stick them up, I've used 3M command strips, which are the greatest invention ever made. To keep all the cables in check, I've used J-channel cable raceways strategically stuck along the underside of the desk to keep the cables nicely out of sight. Then for the final little touch, I'm also using Velcro cable ties to tidy up the last little fiddly bits. It's a very long and annoying process, but it is totally worth it. Onto the decorations now, and on the right hand side of the setup is this pegboard from IKEA. And these are excellent for creating cool displays in your setup. You can get various accessories like these hooks, tubs and shelves to customize it. On mine I have a couple of keyboards including the Razer Deathstalker V2 Pro TKL and Acco ACR Pro 68. As well as the Logitech G Pro X Lightspeed gaming headset. And I also get asked about this helmet all the time. It's a 2015 Lewis Hamilton replica helmet and can only really be found on eBay these days. Then up above the setup is an IKEA lack shelf with a bunch more decorations, including these really cool deconstructed tech wall art display pieces from Grid Studio and a few other cool bits. Finally, to add a bit of a natural feel to the room, I have these fake plants dotted around from IKEA and Amazon. And even though they're fake, they add a splash of life to the studio. And there we go, that is my productivity / gaming setup where all of this happens, from filming to editing, uploading. All of my content happens right here. And occasionally maybe some gaming, but not very much these days. But that was a full breakdown of everything in my setup, and as I mentioned, there will be links to everything down in the description below. And I will have a full room tour like this coming sometime soon, so if you enjoyed today's video and want to see that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and sub to the channel. Let me know your thoughts on today's video or the setup, and if you don't have any thoughts, then just comment your favorite game, because algorithm. If you want to see more tech and setup content, you can also check out my other socials like TikTok, Instagram and X. And if you want to chat and hang out, I also have a Discord server. All of these are linked in the description down below. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. See you later.